Zeta, one of the strongest characters in Granblue Fantasy Versus, is a mid-range, offense-oriented character who uses her strong pokes, projectiles, and insane damage off her unique meter conversions to bring down any opponent in her way. Today, I want to show you all the tips and tricks that I know on how to master Zeta. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's talk about the most important buttons that you want to be using in neutral in general. So let's start with close range. At close range, the best buttons you can do are honestly her far light and they're too light. You see how much range they have, right? They have as much range as like some other medium buttons in the game even. And you are able to force a mix-up and a combo right here with it. So you're in a pretty good position afterwards. You can also delay these buttons in specific, so you can go for reco options that like characters couldn't be able to go for, right? Her 2 unique is mostly used for like super close range. Like let's say like you're trying to hit like a jab here and they walk back. That's usually something you can do. The problem by itself with 2 unique is that it's a 2-hitter, right? With like 2 different frames. So if you miss this right here, you're gonna be in big trouble. You can, if you do hit it on the other hand, whether that be on block or on hit, force a special out. So that's something that's like really important to note. If you are hitting somebody on block and they expect like the second hit to come out as well, that's what you can do, right? You can just use Spear of Arvis and you're gonna be fine. So let's go over the mid range next. So the moves I like to use here usually are 4H and 2M for poking. They're pretty good for poking. However, right here as you can see, 2M is a high, so you will not be hitting people low. You will be hitting people that move. So for example, if Catalina tries to move right here, then you will be able to just hit her for it, right? It's like, okay, that's like a good way to stop it usually. This is just a little bit extra range than this. So if you need like that extra range to hit somebody here, you can. But it's not necessary. Most of the time when I play neutral, I use this. I use usually 2M or I use 5H just because 5H is pretty fast. It's frame 9. As you can see, both of them are frame 9. And they're not that negative, especially 2M is only -3. So you're able to do a lot of good situations here where you can just walk back and whiff punish or anything like that, like even if you hit somebody on block. But these are mostly used for pokes. That's like what they're good for. So if you hit somebody as well with Zeta in neutral, it's really important that she has a ton of corner carry off of stray hits. So for example, if I'm just hitting 2M right here, you see how much corner carry this has to push them into it. So that's also something to note whenever you're like trying to go for like a move right here. Just honestly buffer it. I would personally just buffer the move by itself already, because if it fails, you're always able to just say like, okay, I'm gonna retreat, I'm gonna go back. Right, that's always an option. So during the pokes, you can just buffer the special by itself. That's what I like to do. So if I'm playing neutral right here, I would hit my 5H and then immediately do the special skill. And if it hits, I can get into the corner. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, right? So that's usually what I like to go for. 6-3H by itself is also pretty good to use at the mid-range. So this button. So it's just, whenever you're like out of range here where you wouldn't hit something, you can go for this and then chain it 3 times and then push them into that. The only thing that's also like really good here is obviously 6XL. 6XL, I don't have to speak much about it if you play Granblue. It's like the best button in the game for pretty much every character, and it's no exception for Zeta. Especially because her corner carry of it becomes tremendous, right? So like if I were to like land the combo right here, I could go for an entire string here and land a combo of the singular 6XL and go into pressure right here. And if they were to do anything, I could just loop it right here, right? So it's really important that you're hitting like stray hits and converting them into the corner, or trying to force a 6XL hit out just because of how much reach you do gain. So that's mostly like what I'm aiming for when I'm playing at like a mid-range. I try to hit anything of that. Okay, let's talk about the last aspect of neutral, which is far range. And for Zeta, it's actually pretty good because she has a projectile. Her projectile is frame 27, which is pretty slow. However, she can charge it, so people can't just like dash through it. And also, you do win some fireball wars with it pretty consistently, especially if you use the heavy version. The heavy version is really quick in comparison to like most projectiles that would land because it's full screen. It hits like immediately in full screen. Same with unique. Unique just lets you combine, and it's also frame 19, right? So you can just do this, be as lame as you can, and as soon as like you would have Catalina like walking towards you or like jumping at you, right? You can go for like a 2H and then whiff punish. You can go for 2-2H. Right, anything like that is usually what's like good to use on her. Now that we've went over neutral, let's go over how to play her advantage state. Zeta has insane corner carry, and the game plan for her as a character is to always just to get your opponent into the corner, because she does the most amount of damage right there, and it's loopable on top of it, right? So that's where she truly shines, I believe. I believe she truly shines when she is the one who actually gets a hit and is an advantage, because she will just make it a living hell for you to get out. And once you are in the corner like this, there are several pressure strings that we can do that are good. But I think the thing that Zeta is quite frankly the best at is using throw baits. So throw baits are usually by characters to try to like shimmy you, so they like to try to like dash up and then walk back. Zeta doesn't need any of that. Zeta can actually completely rush towards you and pretend like she wants to throw you. And then press 2 to H right here and just pressure you again, right? Because she can just do whatever she wants with it afterwards. Or, even better, going for unique right here, is you can do a full combo. So if you actually bait this correctly, as you can see, you do a ton of damage that is loopable afterwards. Right, the loopable damage is like our like most important thing that I will be going over in a little bit. But this is just my thought process, right? Like she's just the best, or like one of the best characters at throw baiting in particular, in a game where teching throws is so easy that people will just throw out buttons or throw like a tech throw, whatever, like as much as they humanly possibly can. Another big plus for her is that her pressure strings are pretty safe by itself, and they can set up pretty much anything. Just like how we had it in neutral, right? Where like we will get like a hit right here and we can do a straight conversion. You can do the exact same right here. So you can do this, for example. So you would do Arbus 6, then 9, and then 2 on time. You can actually repeat it right here into like everything, right? And you'll just be able to do whatever you want. That's basically why it's so good. It's just off of like any straight hit we can do it. But here's some pressure scenarios I'm going to give you right now that you can do on her that are like pretty consistent, and why we want to do them in specific. So close light is pretty much the best button you can do for pressure, because it can lead into a low, it can lead into 2 of them, and then another light. You can delay them a bunch. You can try to go for a throw right here, right? You can go for your 2-2-H or 2-unique, right? Anything like that. So that's usually what it's good for. Mainstream that I go for usually is this, which is close light to L, 5L. And the reason why is because if I hit them for anything here, I can just get the conversion just like every other button. And it is extremely safe, because even if it's only in block here, I would still be +1. So I can like walk back and like try to like do anything here. Or I can do this and then use the unique that she has, just to like position myself to like a favorable position again. Right? That's like usually like the main thing. Close line to auto combo, pretty standard. You can go into low, you can go into high. But the biggest reason why you want to do an auto combo is so you can set this up for free. You can set up the unique in order to create a whiff punish scenario. So if we had Kailina, for example, pressing something right here, you'd be able to whiff punish like that. See? And I would be able to get the combo out of it too. So it is just basically setting up for whiff punishes by themselves as you try to press any buttons. That is why it's good. It's good for the spacing. To L auto combo, if you do manage to hit the low right away, then you just go for the other combo, which is like a regular Zeta combo right there. Then there's also automatic frame traps. So for example, close light into H. Close light into close H, really, really good. It's an automated frame trap. If they press anything here, they get blown up, and you're able to do whatever you want, and you can do the pressure again. Another one is if you're a bit further away, so let's say like we have a scenario like this, and they're still blocking, you can go for 2M into 2-1-4, either LL or H, depending on the speed of it you want, and you can also land a combo here then afterwards. So as you can see, like she has a bunch of combo potential off of like just any like straight hit that she gets, and she can like loop it over and over again. And then the other one would just be basic stuff like close light into like a dash up throw, for example, or close light into dash up and then pretending like we're gonna go for throw, and then we can go for that, right? These are the ones that you mainly want to use at close range, and then once you are at like a bit of a further range, you can just try to like wait for them to like move like around here, because anything you will hit now will be whiff punishable, and if they jump into the air, you'll be able to do either 2-H, 2H, or just like play around here. This is again like your best range, so even if they're in the corner, this is really good, because they will pretty much just try to destroy themselves, if that makes sense. But they're going to be sitting here and going to be like, oh, okay, so I just need to get out of the corner here, so do like whatever they can. They'll try to run at you, they'll try to jump, they try to use like a bravery point to get out, right? Anything like that. So if you just chill here, it's like very, very beneficial for you. Alright, now let's go over how do we actually do the loopable pressure, and how do the safe jumps work by itself. So pretty much off of most hits and Zeta's kits, you can get this, right? Especially in the corner, which is used by a certain amount of specialists that you want to get for different results. So let's do the first one. So this is Zeta's bread and butter combo that she usually likes to use. This is the main setup that you want to use on her. Basically using every single special that you can on her. That's like the main goal. And then you would always try to end it with 2-2-U if you can, for a full reset, safe jump. Or you can also try to end it with using 2U. So you can use 2 unique to just reset fully if you don't have the meter for it. So those are like the two options. But it's basically, you do either a 25 meter spend just for guaranteed damage and then a safe jump, or you do 2 unique for mix-up afterwards. That's like example number 1. Now let me show you something that is not normal for her, but a pretty good setup that you can use. This is a pretty good setup, as you can see, because right here I can go for a bravery point and then do whatever I want here. Right, and look at the damage that I just did from that. That's basically like from like one consecutive loop. So what you're able to do is if you use one special less, so in this case I didn't use 6-3, right? But I only used Fireball, this, and then 2-2, right? It basically allowed me to have an extra hit here while they land, and then hit them for it while they are recovering. So I can just go for whatever. Literally kills the opponent. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. Ultimately, to break it down, what are we looking for with Zeta at the corner? What are we looking for? We're basically looking for either a guaranteed reset that we can get, or just a safe stream setup where we can mix up. That's basically what we want to do with her. And once you want the loop to end, or once the loop ends organically, either it be for like a bravery point or whatever, you can just try to force other things. Let's say, for example, you try to like just force a throw right here, or just a throw bait, or you just go to the pressure that we discussed earlier, right? You can just go for the regular pressure and just try to like play it slow. But whenever you get your loop, that's basically where Zeta shines the most, so that's what you want to do. Now let's go over what I believe is her worst area, which is disadvantage. Disadvantage for Zeta is not that great compared to characters with a regular DP, because her 2-1-4 is the main way how she likes to go for any sort of either resettable pressure right here or anything. And the biggest property about this in particular is it is manually timed. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to use this right here and then my opponent's going to do whatever. No, if I time this wrong while they hit a button on me, I'm going to get hit here, right? So by itself, you got to be very careful of how you want to get out of the corner, if anything. So what I would suggest if you want to get out for free is to go for the unique version. Because unique version, if Catalina hits something here, for example, as you see right here, nothing happens on this one. However, on this, it will automatically give you an animation, so you don't need to worry about it, and you can just get out. A lot of people love using 6XL a ton, right? They love using 6XL. It's like the core button of the game. However, Zeta completely counters that with using 2-1-4 light, because she doesn't have to time anything else. You know exactly what's coming your way, right? So you can just time it right here and then get a full setup. So the setup that we like to go for actually is a block pressing setup. And the reason why is because we land the frame earlier. So let me show you this. If I were to do a regular setup right here, as you can see, like my close medium does not hit. However, if I go for it with block, while holding block the entire time here, I am able to hit it and then get a full string right here and then a reset. So this is really good if you're able to land it on defense or whatever. Whenever you call out a 6XL, you can do this combo right here. You can basically do that, and then you're -2, so you can go for like whatever. You can try to go for a jab right here, like a reset setup or anything like that. You can even go for a super, right? And instead of going for the 6-3H right here, or 6-3M, you can do whatever at the end of the day. But this is really good. If you do manage to land it, this is extremely good, and it's really good against 6XL in particular. It is basically the 6XL counter. You're just able to get into like your advantage or your best state just by countering 6XL alone. When it comes to regular buttons to escape with her, they're actually not too bad. She has really good light buttons, 2 and 5L, you can mix together. Those are usually the ones that you want to go for. If you do want to escape, or just going for an auto combo here, if you even can, if you're able to, right, from that range. Or something that's pretty good for her in particular is the same thing that we do in advantage save, where we would just jump up. You can do the same with the unique right here, and then you can land an absolute massive combo, as you can see right here, just from getting out of disadvantage. Okay. Now let's go over the last topic, which is meter usage. If you're somebody who wants to master Zeta, you gotta listen up. This is the most important thing with her, because once she reaches about 50 to 75% meter, she's a completely different character. She is not the same anymore whatsoever. They're completely busted. So for example, if I land a 6-3 right here, or a fireball right here, I can then link it into 6-3 and get a massive combo and corner carry. The same happens for this right here. I can link it to 6-3 right after. Also do whatever I want, right? I'll just link it into 2-2, and then I can do another one. If I feel like it, then I can do this. As you can see, like, the character becomes completely different once she has that. Once she has her 50 to 75 meter, it's over. And if you don't know, the biggest reason why it is so good is because of the meter refund system in this game. If you're hitting a unique button right here, I get 75%. And it basically means I get 25% back every time I do it, right? So like a 50 meter move, if I do manage to hit it, is only going to cost me 25. So I can go for 1, 2, and then 3 right here, and then this right here. Literally 3 uniques and the bravery point just used like that, and I just do 7,900 damage. It's completely ridiculous. You can just end rounds on it. You can just cheese your way into victory. It is so cheap. It is so cheap. So like, whether you're in neutral, advantage, or disadvantage, having meter on Zeta changes the entire game. Because if you're ever trying to bait a throw, you can just do this. You can just do this, finish off with a combo, you're good to go. This by itself already did 5,000 damage. I just want you to notice that. This by itself already did 5,000 damage. Meter is one of the most important things. So you gotta make sure to use it wisely while playing her. And don't just force it by like spamming. I would just wait for opportunities that you can get it for, and then essentially just go as ham as you can with it, and then enter for it. For anyone trying to learn all of our combos and setups, because otherwise we'd be here for an hour, me trying to explain every single setup you can do on her. In the video description down below, the very first link is something called the Zeta combo doc that you can check out right now. It has videos and notations written down for pretty much any combo you'll ever need on Zeta. Counter hit combos are there, regular combos, setups, safe jumps, anything that you would need. Also, there is a Zeta primer as well. It is a written guide, so you can see what every single move does for Zeta. If you're trying to look more in particular, like, oh, I wonder what exactly I can do with 2 unique or what it's used for. You can look that up exactly, right? So everything's in the description down below. If you're interested in more direct help, I do offer coaching on Metafy as well. And I don't exclusively only coach for Granblue, I also do it for Street Fighter and Guilty Gear. Thank you so much for watching this guide on Zeta. I really appreciate it. I hope this helped. Have fun playing her. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any more questions. But I hope this answered everything.